It's business. It's business time. Hang tight, we're gonna get into the business right here in a couple minutes. Baby, baby. It's business. It's business time. All right, we are here with week 49 of It's Business Time.
49.
Week 49, right? And we are joined this week by Mr. AJ Jesson himself. As he frequently reminds me, it's a good thing you like me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get guests like this.
You're not wrong.
But you are one of the hardest working guys in the music scene right now, and I'm very excited to kind of get into a little bit more texture. You're a real surface guy, and I appreciate that about you. You know, we have to work hard to find the deep. But
yeah.
Real quick before we get rolling, I do always like to give a fast shout out to Stitch House Brewery. They are right here on Market Street. They always have 12 beers on tap. Those are made right behind us. They are a small business as well. They have great food. So if you find yourself in the Market Street area, come through Stitch House, grab a few beers, grab some food.
That's right. Bad breakup, come drink your sorrows away at Stitch House.
Yeah, drink your sorrows away.
Or celebrating a new relationship, come celebrate at Stitch House. Either way, it's a good idea.
It's like, I can't remember the saying, but something along the line. Beer is good for the bad times, and it's good for the good times.
Correct. That's exactly what I was getting at.
For sure. But again, thanks to Stitch House for having us. And with that, we are rolling. AJ Jesson, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Sure.
Appreciate you coming through. I definitely, in this series, I wanted to make sure to get a nice broad range of business owners. I've had people on here.
You had Denise on here.
Yeah.
Denise is a sweetheart.
She is. She is hilarious.
Oh, she's
so much fun. She's fun on lines, on the medias, but then in person, she's even better. But yeah, you can check out Denise and my conversation, Sisypho, right?
Yes.
Sisypho. A couple weeks ago, actually at this point, a couple months ago, but yep, Denise and a lot of good people on this series, but I want to keep it broad too, where not only do we talk to like folks who are focused on sales and marketing and floor cleaners and mental health and all that, but we also get a lot of the gallery owners, musicians, and other people to kind of help keep this scene churning. And you, my friend, have been churning the scene.
Been churning for too long.
For quite a while. And really just the booking alone, the amount of shows that you're able to put together, string together to build a full-time career.
And me personally for gigging, you mean?
Yeah, you personally for gigging, and then also the amount of opportunities you create for other artists that I know as well.
Yeah, in the recent 2-3 years, it's been crazy.
Yeah, you're a mover and a shaker for sure. We have a history together too, way back in the day of playing music together. But it's so fun.
Buckers?
Yeah, Bullbuckers and early Full Carbon days, some of those private parties.
Those were fun.
Those were fun.
I still have the picture of us in the photo booth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I think that's still like
the kung fu.
Yeah, with the tie.
That was good. It was good times.
I know. I think I still have those on the website as well somewhere
on the interwebs.
Yeah, because they're very endearing photos. That was a good chapter.
We had some fun.
A brotherhood of rhythm.
Rhythm.
But anyway, so a lot of this series is about kind of letting people who are thinking about striking out on their own. Like right now, there's someone who's working a full-time job, playing a gig here and there, and every morning they wake up, they dream about like, man, I wish I could do this full-time. You're someone who's kind of realized that dream. And so I'd love to kind of start at the beginning. Like, what were you doing full-time when you said to yourself, you know what, enough, I'm going to lean all the way into this music thing. I'm going to become that guy. What were you doing then? And then kind of like, what was that transition like to get your income?
I think you knew me when I was a chef, right?
Yeah, I did.
I was a professional chef for 8+ years. It was the end of my career. I was running kitchens as a sous chef and head chef. It was. You want me to put this a little bit closer?
No. It's looking good. I was just glancing back to make sure.
I was a head chef and a sous chef for a while, running kitchens. So, still something in the arts, I guess. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Still something creative. I just got sick of not being able to make my own schedule.
Yeah.
And the training of new people that quit. I mean, the restaurant industry is so difficult when it comes down to replacing people. The amount of overhead for just training and in and outs. I mean, you're going to hire a new staff twice a year, essentially, if you look at restaurant statistics.
Yeah.
For how fast their turnaround is for workers, and it's just difficult to have all that stuff fall on you. Have to train a new person every other time that ownership doesn't want to listen to the GM or the chef or the front of house manager, and it just became too much.
Yeah.
I was not enjoying myself. I was making good money. I wasn't spending it. That's one thing about having a full-time job like that, is that you go home and you're not spending your money on the job.
Yeah.
Fed well too,
Right.
That was always a big thing, but well before all this food inflation crap.
Yeah, you see a lot of kind of that balance in the restaurant industry between things can go from like we're a big family here, we all have each other's back, to like,
dystopia.
Yeah, dystopia, exactly. That's a lighthearted way to phrase some of the stuff that can happen in restaurant scenes.
Some really good, bad, nasty jokes, though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But it's interesting, too. You mentioned the culinary arts aspect, and it is in some ways like putting a good band together, getting a good kitchen together. Like, you have a lot of exciting personalities, you're blending them all together.
You got to have your opening day for the restaurant, you know what I mean? You got to do your soft openings, which is kind of like a fake band practice. You know what I mean? You got to do your fake launch. It's a lot of things are similar.
Yeah.
I also think that I learned a lot from having to work under pressure. Being in a short order, by the way, is when you can order something off of a menu. That's what short order means for a restaurant.
Right.
Compared to a prix fee or a fixed menu, kind of like you go into Wendy's and just get the salad bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sorry, I'm showing my age.
Right. Yeah.
Now I want Wendy's salad bar.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I sometimes have little dreams about the old Sizzler days.
Yes.
Do you remember Sizzler? Like, those were some happy family moments.
I know.
But anyway, so you're working in the restaurant industry. You're doing some gigs. You're playing with some bands and things like that. And was there like a moment where you said, I'm gonna put together a solo set. I'm gonna start booking myself as the product itself.
I realized it when I was driving an hour one way back and forth to work, still working on not a salary after I had quit a salary job from a chef, and I was getting tired, and I'm not going to name any names, but they started to not be able to pay my paychecks.
Right.
And I was just sick of it, and I saved up enough money, and I had enough, and I just sat down, and believe it or not, the way I really got into it was it was Logic Pro, not Logic Pro 10.
Yeah.
Not Logic Pro X.
Right.
So the older days.
Yep.
I sat down and looked at the PDF file for the Logic Pro, and I spent 2.5-3 months literally just going through and highlighting and reading the entire 1,200 plus page manual for Logic Pro.
Yeah.
To understand production, recording. And that's what really started because I wanted to start a studio initially, you know what I mean?
Right.
I wanted to start, so actually you were one of my first clients.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Ron John contract?
I do.
That was way back when, man. That
was
my very
that was
first
a great
contract.
gig.
It was, wasn't it?
That
was before. That was right when I was trying to start my record company.
Okay, yeah.
And we had your EPK. Remember, we made the EPK, and I sent it out within 10 minutes, and then I got that 2-year Ron John contract.
Wow.
You were my first real contract.
Oh
hire.
wow, that means a lot to me. That's
like
like
coming back full circle.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of the small business world,
and then same thing with Bullbuckers. One of the few times that we in Full Carbon, actually mainly. Man, we've done a lot of stuff together over the past 10.
We have.
My mom actually hired, I think, your dad.
Yeah, no kidding.
For her wedding party.
Really?
What's your dad's name? Kurt? No.
Jerome. Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry Poole. Yeah.
Doesn't he play too?
He would play, but it's unlikely he would have gotten hired to play. He would have probably offered to play a few songs.
Okay.
Or something. But he was a minister, so he was often involved in weddings and ceremonies.
I'm pretty sure.
All that type of stuff.
Crazy how this works too.
Yeah, one of the things I hope about this series, all those full circle moments in Wilmington, is I like to think I've interviewed a lot of people.
Delaware.
It's Delaware, right?
I would.
When they're like getting started and they're like at 1 or 2 employees and it's their first couple years, and 10 years from now, like, I mean, that Ron John gig was probably what, 2012?
Yeah,
13?
it was a long time. That was before I even quit my cooking job.
Yeah, wow.
I think. I think so.
And that was an interesting one. It was
Yeah,
good pay, and I would set up in a Ron John surf shop.
Inside a clothing store. It was good pay. You got good money for that.
Yeah, I think
What
so,
was it?
especially
It was
back then.
$250.
Yeah, 250, 300
for a
like,
clothing store gig.
Yeah, and it was a Sunday, like like
In
1
Ocean
to
City, Maryland, right?
4 or something. Yeah, in Ocean
OCMD.
City, Maryland.
Man,
Those are
I
good.
don't even know how I got that one.
I remember, too, my girlfriend at the time, she loved that gig because we would basically drive straight to Ocean City.
And then
I would set up and play at a surf shop.
she'd
She
be
would go to the beach for 3 hours. And then afterwards, I would be flush with cash to take her out to dinner. So that was a good time. Those are good Sundays.
I need to get back into there. Maybe I should call them for that contract. That was a good contract.
It was. And contracts like that where, and this is actually a great segue kind of back to the business side of things, but contracts where like establishments, corporations, anything buy into the arts and literally just say, we want to support the arts.
Yep.
Here's the money to support the arts. And that's not to disparage like bar owners and things like that who are looking to pay off sales and all that. But as an artist, there's a different stress level when you walk in and your goal is to produce art rather than you walk in and your goal is to be part of a commerce chain that puts money into till.
Correct.
You know.
Yep.
A lot of the gallery owners I've interviewed, and actually it was last week, Carry On Otano.
Okay.
Otano, she's the VP of engagement for the Opera Delaware.
Oh, wow.
And so what they do is a lot of like people will hire a crew of opera singers to attend their event and blow the crowd away with some opera.
Really?
And I am, as an event guy, I'm excited to bring them into one of my events. But yeah, and it's like, to me, I just love that kind of like you purchase the art to improve the environment.
Yeah.
Is a very different model than you're trying to weave them into a money making chain.
Yeah, and
know,
it's difficult sometimes because some places hire and they expect the musicians to bring people.
Right.
That's a tough business.
Yeah, it was tough before COVID, but it has gotten substantially more difficult since.
I don't know, man. It's
No?
just
I've gotten older too. So.
it's just I don't think a lot of restaurants have done their due diligence. I mean, way back when they used to have booking managers.
Yeah.
People who would. It wasn't the GM's job. It wasn't the AM's job. It was someone specific, and now they're trying to cut corners.
Yeah.
And they don't use the tens of thousands of fans and Facebook followers and Instagram followers that see this name, and they just don't promote on their own website. They expect artists to do it. And artists have what, like, at best maybe 10K plus.
Yeah.
At the normal, you're looking at 1 to 2K. You know.
Yep.
And then, but I mean, they're just not taking full advantage of. They have 10,000 people they can reach out to.
Yeah.
And without really doing the cross promotions or trying to, tag team it together.
Yeah.
I don't see it really being a viable access option anymore. At that point, it's either you do that or you have to bring in musicians that'll keep people, like that they won't leave. Those are the two options, in my opinion.
Yep.
It's either you have a built-in crowd that you want to be catered to, or you better work with the musician and market and promote together, because the restaurants have way better of a reach and tools and options than we do as artists. And you know what I mean? And it's a stay-at-home place. This is always going to be here. Artists are always on the move. Yeah. So, like, it helps with your geographical location, too. So, geonetting, which is, I mean, we can go into that, but geonetting for marketing is a huge thing that people just don't seem to understand.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I mean, you're moving into the space of, like, long-term for short-term.
Yeah.
If the artist is the product, right? Yeah. The short-term is like, we have a pop-up, here's an artist, enjoy it, all right, see everybody. The long-term is, when a restaurant or a venue exposes that artist to their 10,000 people,
right?
And then that artist goes somewhere else, gets exposed to 10,000, gets exposed to 10,000. That's 40,000 they get exposed to in that week or month or whatever.
Exactly.
Then when they come back to the original venue,
Yeah.
they now have a 40,000 person reach, which that's the long-term kind of build.
You just got to figure out how to do that. And
Yeah.
there's not any marketing directors really. I mean, they're starting to finally get back into
Yeah.
social media management,
Yeah.
but that's still not music booking.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not.
But that's where I come in.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's a good segue, right?
yeah, that's a great segue in terms of like you obviously fill a niche in the scene that everybody knows exists, everyone talks about, but you don't actually see as much anymore, which is, someone who's actively and one thing I'll say, even though you're a straightforward guy, is you give a lot more to the scene than you take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more growth going on, a lot more opportunities that you're passing out and passing around to
Yeah,
folks.
it's important.
Yeah, it's a
That's like
it's
the purpose
farming.
of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, why do something without purpose? Mm-hmm. The whole purpose. I mean, I enjoy when my friends succeed. I truly enjoy like being able to provide people with income,
Yeah.
to supply them
Yeah.
to live the life and be a full-time musician, or help with that, or book a gig for someone who's been a great musician that has a family,
Yeah.
and then needs to only do
Yeah.
a Saturday afternoon or a Thursday night to like supplement that income and still be with their families on a Saturday night or Friday
Right.
night. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of advantages to it, and I'm glad I can help my friends make some money for that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back a little bit. So you're starting in the scene. You're starting to book yourself, because I want to kind of make that connection to the early days of AJ Jesson, the brand and the man, into the farming that you're doing now. Like
Yeah.
how you kind of shifted, because that's a very difficult move to go from I am the product, I have control over this,
Yeah.
into now I am facilitating all these other products as
It was
well.
always a 5-year plan for that.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was maybe 3. But yeah, I started reaching out to venues, and booking myself, obviously cold calls and all that crap.
Yep.
But once I established, rapport with them, I always said, hey, I know plenty of people. Mm-hmm. Give me a call if you need a last-minute fill-in. Mm-hmm. And I viewed that as my way to be more valuable to them.
Yeah.
And keep me in the spotlight.
Right.
You know, some of the biggest things are the relevance and when's the last time you talked to someone.
Right.
Showing up to someone's show that does a booking, them seeing your face, you might be their third or fourth call for a booking call.
Right.
Just by staying relevant.
Right.
So that's what I did. I called them, and I also, it was a chance to play some good music in there and make me look good and make my friends look good.
Yeah.
So it was a double-edged sword. I mean, what do I got to lose? I mean, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And for 2 years straight, I was doing that without really asking for any pay.
Right.
But it was just my way to get into new venues or be more valuable.
Right.
And as an acoustic artist, I was always on the look for new people, to make new friends. Because, I mean, that's one of the best ways to get into a new venue is, hey, my friend plays there.
Right.
I know them. They give me, the word of mouth to management, and like, hey, I know this person, in a cold email, and you could just go from there. So I made it a point to visit and scout other people to hang out with.
Yeah.
And I'm working 4:30 to 7:30. Sometimes like the acoustic shifts are early shifts typically.
Right. Right.
So I made it a point to go see bands at 9:00 on my way home,
Right.
or to see who was playing in the local area and stop by somewhere on the way home. Support, and that goes a long way. It goes a really long way to support other musicians.
Definitely.
And the more consistent you're at it, the more it really does tend to give you some good results.
Yeah, those personal relationships, those are really important across the spectrum when you're building a business.
Even cross media platforms.
Yeah, cross media.
Like taking a picture with one another, you're basically exposing each other to your fan bases.
Right. That's
So
true.
and it's even without even having to do a collaboration, it's just people know, hey, well, I know AJ or I know Aaron, and if we post a picture together, they're two musicians.
Oh, they work together.
Then you can cross-platform. You can get more followers from that just from posting crap like that.
Random shout out, but you know who came through last week? Jared Obsfeld.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he's another great musician in our area who's kind of building an acoustic set right now. And
I think one of my venues does book Jared. They
Yeah.
were booking Jared before I took over, so
Yeah. Well, I just mentioned him because that goes back into
Way
the
back.
way back too in the old days, and those personal relationships, like to bring it back to kind of the business side of thing, it's always important to have trusted partners, strategic partners, all those types of things. And in the music scene, or the arts scene, I should say, like, things can get a little bit messy. Like, I'm just going to
Always.
be honest, between payout and different events, and sometimes they'll do a battle of the band stuff where it's like friend versus friend and all this. Things can get messy, but like being able to go back and say, I know that person and I knew them before things got messy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still that same person.
yeah.
I think that's where a lot of the longevity comes in. So give me just a little snapshot too. Like I said, this series, time's flying talking to an old friend here, but this series is a lot about trying to kind of provide some access into what it takes to do the types of things that the folks we have on do.
Dedication.
So give me a little snapshot into like your day or your week. Like, how much time are you spending rocking the phones versus marketing versus, obviously when you're performing, we know how much time that takes. An hour there, 3 to perform, an hour home. But
Yeah, and then break down and set up.
and then break down and set up and
then
practice is
taxes.
something. And taxes. Oh my gosh.
Recording your mileage.
QuickBooks.
Yep.
And have a good accountant. Do you have a good accountant, by the way?
Yeah.
Do you want to give a shout out?
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. I got a couple good ones. So
I mean, it's when you play in 5 different states.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
4, and then you book other people in other different states.
Yeah.
You gotta claim municipality. You gotta claim
Right.
different state tax.
Yep.
And it's not.
And I know
Not
you're
as fun.
I know you're launching like a consolidated brand soon.
Yes.
You don't have to make this the announcement, but
No, I'll be making my booking business, my booking agency business
Yeah.
official with a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, within the next 2-3 months.
within the next couple
It's
months.
just blown
so-
up so quickly.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've done this for maybe a year and a half now,
Yeah.
and I'm already at like 9 or 10 venues that I'm working with.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, you've been moving in a way where, it's obvious that you're going to be in this space for a while, that you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
Give us a quick snapshot though. Like
For what?
Like
For
what
what I have
time
to
do you
do?
wake up and start rocking the phones versus like what's like
I mean,
an
it
average
all depends.
average busy day in AJ's world look like?
I'd say there's 2 different types of days. There's well, for the booking business, which
Mm-hmm.
one is reaching out and talking to management about what days you want to book,
Yep.
what type of artists you want, how far in advance can we book out,
Yeah.
and that.
So a lot of
we
like
have- we-
info gathering. And
Yeah,
prep.
and we have to
yeah.
do. You have to do that either early in the morning or after lunch shift,
Right.
or before before dinner. Typical times where venue managers
Right, are there,
but not busy.
not overwhelmed. Yeah, okay.
Yep. So that's the first one, and you gotta wake up
obviously
early.
having the restaurant background too, that helps give you
Yes.
an idea of calendars and schedules
Big
and
time.
intensity levels.
I know when people are not busy, the
Yeah.
typical times, and I'll even to the point where I can ask numbers. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what were your numbers last year?
Right,
Like,
right.
I have that inside scoop from being a restaurant manager for a long
Right,
time.
right.
Very helpful for talking terms.
Yeah, definitely.
So that the first day would be you have to wake up a little bit earlier. The second one would be the actual booking part, which is once you gather all your dates
right.
and gather the times and figure out what the genres were, how much people are getting paid, then you can start to dole out, hey, let's contact some people. And so I do it very differently. I don't typically let people contact me. I reach out to other people.
Right.
I
right.
like to be in control. I'm not really a big fan. I mean, I guess onboarding or inboarding, whatever you want to call it, for new people. That's just not. I already know that I have a set amount of people that,
Right.
like, I have to go see you.
Right.
But to go back to the snapshot, it's you gotta talk to venue owners early in the morning
Yeah.
and in the afternoon, and then typically. If you're a full-time musician, you probably aren't getting up till like 2.
Right.
So, like you get home at 3 or 4
That
in the
is
morning.
one of the the side effects of the
Yeah.
industry.
Or
Is,
you work a full-time job and get home at 6 or 7, and then you have your kids. And
Yeah.
then it's
Yeah.
either you can talk to them on the way home, or you send them a text and they're at work, and then you have a full-blown conversation anytime after 9. So there's different times of days for different types of things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So those are the 2 types of days: are talking to venue owners and then actually booking the dates.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I ask that largely not so much for like people who don't understand that world, but just to kind of remind folks the difference between, this is going to sound a little harsh, but the difference between those who have a dream and they will watch it go by and the ones who lean into that and seize it often is a few hours a day difference. It's getting up a little earlier, working a little longer.
If you're not uncomfortable, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, right. If you're not uncomfortable.
You got to be stressed out about something.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds unhealthy, but if you're not pushing yourself to do something that is different that you're not comfortable with, you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
That's what and if you don't have any haters, you're also not doing enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I got plenty of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Oh, this AJ doesn't book me for this gig. It's like, if I don't contact you, I mean,
yeah.
You should kind of figure it out. I mean, I don't ghost people.
I like saying, what a good deflection, because I get a lot of, hey, have you talked to this person? I don't know why they're not booking me, because I don't book anybody, but I get a lot of people asking me, how do I get booked by this person? So do you know what I do for the deflection? I say, when was the last time you took a vocal lesson?
Oof.
Right? Because it only gives you one of two responses. One is recently, and then I go, awesome, keep it up, and like
Maybe
the world's
it'll work.
yours.
Yeah,
and the
so
other
bad.
one is, what does that have to do with anything? And I say, see, that's the problem right now. If you're not improving your product, who wants to put it on their shelves?
I got to take vocal lessons.
Yeah. Well, I say that too because I've had a lot of friends through the years hit a low spot. And doing some sort of lessons.
Busk.
Yeah.
Go do something.
Yeah, go break out of your comfort zone.
Stop thinking that one venue is going to be your ticket to paradise. It's not. No, every single time, I mean, I know I look back. How many times I've wanted to play a venue, and then I got there 2 years later, and then 2 years after that, I look back like it's nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, consistent growth. Everyone wants to say, oh, there's this one point in life that if I get this gig, that means I've made it. It never goes away.
Yeah.
You're never satisfied.
No, it's true. The mountain always shifts and moves. The last person I had on, we were talking about the opera space, and
that's
a
big one.
Very slim amount of folks who make it to the tippy top.
Yeah,
but there's a whole
competitive
contingent of just wonderful people who have a great life in the arts because of that.
Not many though.
Foothold. Not many. It's tough. It's definitely difficult.
It's way more difficult than I'd say cover music.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly a lot more practice and intensity and planning.
I don't do a lot of original music right now.
Yeah.
It's coming. I also am working with another company. I'll name them too, but I'm working with an original production company.
Yeah.
It's going to be coming up, so we're going to be doing artist management.
Yep.
And streaming and basically helping them, give them the tools to succeed in order to be a full-time musician. Our goal is to create enough financial stability for them to be able to want to focus on music full time.
Right.
Because that's the hardest thing in the world, is to want to focus on your music and then have to do something else full time to pay the bills. And that it really does limit how fast you can.
You spend a lot of time recovering.
Yes, and not only that, you can't keep up. If the ball keeps rolling, you're not. I mean, you can't take off your job for 3 weeks to go on a tour.
Right.
Like, so to create the stability on enough to where they could go on a tour. I mean, that's
right. Yeah.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges of the arts is kind of that planning. A lot of it's seasonal, right? A lot of it is event-based and freelance-based. So there's just a lot of planning that kind of goes into that. And people forget a lot often that the planning phase is very time-consuming, and you're often not paid for it, but it can be the most important.
Easy. And people are like, oh, why can't I get this gig? It's like, how many times have you called them? Oh, you emailed them once and they didn't get back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try again.
Yep.
Did you call? Did you ask who was booking? Did you show up to the venue?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of contradictory for me to say that, considering I'm telling people that I don't really onboard that much for people to walk into my venues and then.
Well, we know what you mean. We know what you mean.
But you got to be persistent.
Yeah.
Like, I forget things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go back and scan my phone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you get a text in 3:30 in the middle of the day. Hey, can you do something? I'm not working at that point. I'm working all the time.
Yeah.
At any given time, I walked out just before you got here. Yeah. I had a venue manager call me. It's like, hey, I need someone, early on Saturday, 10 to 1.
Right.
Out of nowhere, for a special event.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's my work. I have to be near my phone at all points.
Yeah.
Everything can come in, and in this industry, it's whoever can respond the quickest typically gets it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, for sure.
Sometimes it's not qualifications that really do it for you.
That's a masterful segue into how do people contact you? What's the best way if people are looking for, because now too you're kind of expanding booking in what's that?
Don't contact me.
Yeah, don't contact him, but into artist management, all that. But no, in all seriousness, if someone wants to send you a demo or has questions or whatever, is that through your website, ajjesson.com?
You can. You could. I prefer my phone, which is 302-593-1295. But at this point, just don't text me and don't call me if you don't have all your stuff lined up.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad to have a personal chit chat to get to know you.
Yeah.
But if you don't send me all the stuff I need, like social media links,
Right.
Facebook links, video, some type of audio, and give me a breakdown of what you're looking for,
Yeah.
or the recent venues that you've played. If you don't have all that information ready, don't call me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't text me. Like, you know, like I'm not here to tell. Like,
Right.
you should know all these things by now. How many things are online that you can figure out?
Right.
What am I supposed to do as a musician?
Right.
Like, research the company before you go into the interview.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, come
definitely,
on.
Definitely.
I don't care if you pad your freaking resume. You could lie
Yep.
a little bit, but just have it all ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, have an actual resume. Don't forget your cover letter.
Right.
Just like simple things like that go, like when someone, I'll tell you what, there was a story. It was someone contacted one of my venues, and the venue gave them my email, and you know what? I've gotten plenty of emails with nothing. Hey, I'm interested in
Right.
booking. Can we get some dates? Okay, who are you?
Right.
Where can I find stuff? I'm not going to go do work for you.
Right.
You
right.
need to do all that up front. So, and the people, there's one time someone actually emailed me, and I looked at it, and it had all the stuff in it that I wanted. Everything.
Right.
And it wasn't fantastic, but you know what? It was there.
It was there.
And I was like, you know what? You're one of the first people to email me all the correct things that I wouldn't have to text you or ask you anything else other than whether or not I wanted to book you.
Right.
And there was plenty of people that are probably more talented, but having those things up front made me book that person within the first week of them contacting me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's simple. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It shouldn't be that difficult.
All right, so don't contact him unless you've got your shit together.
Yeah, please don't, because then I'm going to write
That's fair.
you off.
That's fair. You
Don't waste my time. I don't have a lot of it anymore.
What I try and do here is real talk,
Yeah.
but still be a bit kind about it. You know?
I'm-
it's still productive.
if you're not ready for it, then I don't care.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. But this is good. I'm glad I was able to have you on now. I can tell you in the next couple months to the next year or so, you have a lot of big things coming.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and you know, if I do wind up capping the series in September, at least in the form that it's in, I'm not going to get a chance to have you on when all the big stuff happens.
You'll get there. I mean, I'll make some time for you.
Yeah, okay.
I guess.
I appreciate
It's
that.
been 10+ years.
Yeah, it
like
has.
I said, you were my first contract.
Yeah.
We
I
have
appreciate that.
we have a long way.
I didn't actually
go.
realize that when I had you on. Now it feels like a little bit of nepotism, but this is Delaware. Hey, nepotism.
It was Maryland, so it's fine.
Yeah, for sure. But AJ, man, thank you so much for joining.
Sure.
You know, you're a wealth of knowledge, and you and I chat about the scene frequently.
Always.
So I'm glad we were able to share a little bit of that.
Yeah, reach out. Reach out to me if you want. Just if you want some tips or tricks or something like that. But don't ask to get booked unless you have all your stuff ready.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell people where open mics are, how to like give you guys some tips and tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
Like I like helping people. It's important. Music saved my life.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really gave me some purpose. So I like giving that gift to people.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give it to people that aren't driven enough.
Right.
It's like trying to give a guitar lesson to someone who doesn't want to play guitar.
Totally.
You know, the
Totally.
parents want to do it, and then you got to be on both sides. You got to
Yeah.
want it, and you got to. Sorry to say it, but like you also got to like understand that you're not most important to anyone.
Yeah.
Like you gotta fight. Sorry, like you can't get sad about someone not responding to you. Be annoying.
Right.
Like that
Right.
on borderline like stalkerish.
Yeah.
Like that's unfortunately the way that works.
It's
Annoy someone until you're
unfortunate.
finally like, fine, just here, take a gig. Like I've had that, and it
Yeah.
works. sometimes that's the way it's.
It is. It is
You gotta fight,
unfortunate, but
tooth
it
and
is
nail.
accurate. It is accurate.
I mean, come on. It's
Yeah.
not that difficult.
No.
Well, for guys, it's not because we have to ask girls out, and you know,
Oh, we have all
and
that practice.
We have all that practice of being shunned,
Yeah, being shut.
saying no. The 1 out of 10 chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're used to that, and we got to keep it moving.
I'm the middle child. If you don't outstretch your hand and say, gimme, you never get anything.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
So
You're not wrong.
So I get it. But hey, man, thanks again for joining.
Pleasure.
Yeah, AJ Jesson coming through. It's business time for week 49.
49, man.
Yeah, 49, right? We're coming up on 52 here in September. I'm going to have Dan, the owner of Stitch House, be my last guest of the year.
That's awesome.
Because in the year that we've been running this
I
series,
can't believe you did it for every week.
he opened every week. That's why I was giving
That's
you the
crazy.
gruff last night. I'm like, you're definitely good, right? But in that year that in between when we started this and now, Dan opened a new restaurant here on Delaware Ave, the local Post,
Okay.
the barbecue spot.
What's
So
up?
he's had a big year
And he's
in the small business.
maybe now
world.
I need barbecue.
Yeah, right. It's got a good spot, but again, AJ Jesson coming through week 49.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you all
guys.
for hanging out. We'll see you next time on It's Business Time. Have a good one.
Peace.
It's business.